Hey, 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 I'm T-Dub, and what we're looking at together is a magic traffic signal. Why is it a magic traffic signal? Well, in a few minutes, you'll find out how this magic traffic signal can win virtually any man's total devotion, and not only just commitment, but enthusiastic commitment to you and your future together. Whether you're still looking for Mr. Right, or maybe you found Mr. Right, but he's kicking and screaming along the path to becoming Mr. and Mrs. Right. When you watch this short presentation in the end, we're going to talk about the shortest path to a man's heart and the fastest way to get him to pop the question without manipulation, and definitely without ever having to be pushy or sacrifice your sense of identity trying to be somebody you're not just in order to please him. Watch this short video until the end and you'll discover the three supposedly good pieces of advice you absolutely must avoid to go from hello to I do, even when he says confusing stuff like I'm not ready. Just a wee bit of fair warning, I don't know how long this video will be online because I'm giving away so much free and hard to find relationship saving information. Plus, you'll notice I'm not hosting this on YouTube. I'm paying to stream this from my own pocket. So I may end up making this a paid presentation. So watch this now while it's still online and it's still free. Now, I know what you may be thinking. You may think, T-Dub, I've seen it and heard it all when it comes to advice on men and how they think. Yet I can guarantee you that you've never understood or seen inside a man as deeply or clearly as you're about to as I share these little known secrets about men with you. This is entirely different. It's nothing like the popular books on men you may have seen or even tried. So I'll bet you dollars to donuts you'll be shocked by what I reveal to you today. And please remember, what I'm sharing will finally allow you to start planning your life and your family without having to push him when he says things like, honey, I love you, but I'm not ready. And you'll get some of my best insights and secrets to make sure you get a sparkling ring on your finger so you can go out and proudly show it off to all your family and friends. First, I need to tell you a story. It's a story that's hard for me to tell because I get choked up. Yet, it's one I think you absolutely need to hear because it will reveal more about how you can avoid wasting years of your life by being able to accurately read what's going on in a man's mind more than anything else that I know. We got a deal? Now, I wasn't always a relationship expert, appearing on radio, thousands of websites and blogs, helping 65,000 plus people in over 77 countries with their toughest relationship troubles. And I certainly never imagined I'd be a best-selling author on the topic of fixing a relationship after someone had called it quits like I am today. In fact, far, far from it. I remember the day when I decided enough was enough, and I'm going to share this story with you now, even though it's really embarrassing for me to tell. You need to know just how deep in the rabbit hole I went before I discovered the stuff I'm going to share with you today. The strategy that allows me to live this amazing life that I live right now and help so many others find and keep love in their life. I remember the day so clearly. I remember I drove up the I-5 north from San Diego. It was a sunny Sunday afternoon in October. And I remember the sunshine because it was the exact opposite of how I was feeling. And in a few moments, I was going to absolutely devastate the woman I loved. I remember the warm, prickly rays of sun dancing on my arm while inside my soul cried over what I felt I absolutely had to do. 5 miles to go before I reach my girlfriend's exit. Heart-Shaped Box by Nirvana starts playing on the radio. Oh geez, I think, why this song? The steel knife in my windpipe twists as Kurt sings the first line. I had to change stations. I can't take it. I fiddle back and forth with the knob. Doesn't matter what's playing. Music that day stung like a spritz of antiseptic on a freshly opened cut. I punch the power button, turn the radio off. For the first time in years, I've driven without the radio. Now, all I hear is my own breathing, the whoosh whoosh sound of blood pulsing in my ears. 2 miles to go. My heart pounds faster. How hard will she take it? She'll want to know why. Why? Here's her exit. Palms sweaty, my hands slip a little bit as I turn off the freeway. The traffic light's red. There's a relief for a few more seconds of peace before the storm. As the light turns green, I proceed. I can see my girlfriend's tan 6-story apartment building. There's less than a half a block now. I can't turn back now. I cannot turn back now, I repeat. I've been unfair to her and unfair to me for far too long already. I pull in. I park and I sit there with the engine off. It's deadly silent. If digital clocks could make noise, I'd hear it tick. 2:37 p.m. Now, I remember that time exactly because I sat there so long staring at those glowing green numbers, they felt etched into my eyes and head. As I open the car door to get out, I go numb. Not the pass-out numb. It's a familiar numb that I feel when I have to do something really hard or when an emergency strikes. I shut the door and start walking to the elevator. I'm moving on autopilot now. I sense everything, every small detail, but I move almost as if I'm being controlled, like a puppet on a string. I nudge the button for the elevator. Swish, as the doors glide open, that smell of a spicy Chinese takeout invade my nose. I suppose that someone just ordered lunch. I push the button for the 5th floor as I had hundreds of times before. This time was massively different, though. As I'm running over my mind what I'm going to say and do one last time, ding goes the bell. I'm here. I walk over to her door. I've got the keys and I usually let myself in, but given about what's going to happen, it doesn't feel right, like the right thing to do today. My knuckles make a rap, rap, rap as they hit the solid wood door. My numbness clears like a morning fog, and I can again feel that cold steel blade of anguish just twist in my throat again. She opens, and then it happened, and then I did it. After almost 4 years of being with Jessica, after 4 years of her patiently waiting on me to be ready to go to the next level in our relationship, I end it. As embarrassing as it is for me to tell you how I let down a woman who waited on me for 4 years, it gets worse. You see, about 2 weeks before I broke up with Jessica, I made the decision to move from San Diego to Arkansas to be with my family. I had stayed in San Diego after I got out of the Navy, but all of my family lived down south. As I was ending it with Jessica, my bags were already packed to leave. I was set to start driving the very next day. I started the breakup by telling Jessica I had made a decision to move to Arkansas. That was a bad move. She thought at first I was asking her to come with me, which made it even harder when I said, "No, Jess, I'm sorry, I'm breaking up with you." Her face puckered like I'd punched her in the stomach with a billy club. It was very sad. It was sad for Jess. It was sad for me. Even Jessica's black kitty, Penny, seemed upset, almost like she knew what was going on. And I did cry when I said goodbye to Jessica, and I remember my tears wetting Penny's black fur as I bent over and scratched her under the chin. It was going to be the last time. After I left Jessica's apartment, I remember feeling so disappointed and totally ashamed with myself. I was angry at how I let it end this way and how it handled all the last few years. I was really confused, too. I was confused because I could never explain to myself, let alone Jessica, why I could love her but not want to marry her. How could I love her so much and not want to marry her? I mean, isn't love supposed to be enough? What was wrong with me? I felt so low. Yet, you know what? That one day caused my entire life to change. It was that day that I made a vow. I vowed that no matter what it took, I was going to figure out how my own heart worked. What was holding me back from making a full commitment to love, to intimacy, and to marriage? I promised I would stop at nothing to figure out why I could feel real love and still not be ready. I'd read every book. If I had to, I'd interview and talk with hundreds of men who were having the same experience. I'd interview happily married men who found joy in commitment. I knew I'd never find long-lasting happiness if I didn't keep my vow. I was going to become a man capable of a fully committed relationship and marriage, or I was going to die trying. The good news for you is this. Not only did I figure out what was stopping me from becoming fully committed, what I call mental roadblocks, I discovered almost all men have these same mental roadblocks. These blocks stop them from moving relationships to the next level, regardless of how much attraction or how much love they feel. Now, some men have more mental roadblocks than others, but I've never met a man that didn't have at least some. What you may find really exciting is once a woman understands a man's mental roadblocks, removing them is easy once you know what to look for. Sadly, though, most women will never figure this out. I'm going to share my discovery with you in just a moment, so keep watching. So as you can clearly see, I'm not some super brainy whiz kid PhD. I'm really a lot like you. I'm just an average person who just happened to go through hell, and because of my experience and through all of that pain, I discovered a blueprint, a system that finally allows women from all walks of life to turn the tables and enable their men to want to fully commit to the relationship and pursue the next level of intimacy all on their own without manipulation, being pushy, or playing hard to get. And that's whether your next level is getting him to notice you and ask you out, seeking more after your first few dates, or desiring to be in an exclusive relationship with you, to him taking you by surprise one evening, dropping on one knee and proposing. Whatever level your relationship is currently at, this pattern I discovered is so powerful that not only did I use it to change my life, that's me. Same girl for 16 years. We've been married for 13 years. She's the girl I married after I moved to Arkansas. And that's, hopefully you can tell that's me on the left. I'm the ex-commitment phobe, the guy in the tux. Now, I've taught my secrets to women in over 77 countries and moved thousands of relationships to the next level. And in many cases, even after the guy had bailed out of the relationship. Now, obviously, this new way of approaching your relationship with men where you get to enjoy him taking initiative and moving to the next level of intimacy changes lives. And I'll cover all the specifics and details in just a few minutes with you, so keep watching. First, you absolutely must be told the truth. You have to know the real problem, the real reason you're struggling with finding the intimacy you deserve today, and it will surprise you because it's the one thing that's been holding you back from experiencing the intimacy, support, and the joy of a fully committed relationship. And the reason why so many women feel they invest way more than they receive in a relationship. You see, the real problem is the fact that you've been taught myths and programmed to believe lies for years. And these myths and lies are keeping you from the relationship that you deserve. One of these lies is enough love is the only requirement to sustain a relationship. That if he loves you, he should be ready to move to the next level. And if he's not ready, he's just not that into you, they say. He doesn't truly love you enough. Or he's commitment phobic. I bet you've heard that one before. What's more damaging about this is after a woman is with so many commitment phobic men, she starts to feel like something is wrong with her. I bet you've heard or maybe even believed this at one point in your life, yet this is not even close to the truth. If you're one of the millions of women who fell victim to this lie, then you must decide now to believe the truth instead, because if you don't, you'll continue down the road of unfulfilling relationships, stuck in what I call a BTA relationship. That's a better than alone relationship. And you'll always be worrying that if you get too close, he'll start pulling away. And eventually, no matter how strong you are, you simply give up on the dream of a close relationship. You give up on the dream of marriage, and a complete family sounds like some kind of fantasy. Or you end up clinging to pseudo-love and intimacy, which end badly, painfully, and hurt a lot of children. Listen, this is not what I want for you, and I know it's not what you desire for yourself. And this is the reason that you're going to struggle to find lasting love. But I want you to know something. It's not your fault. If you really want someone to blame for your struggles with relationships, don't blame yourself. Blame the tabloids and the media, reality television, women's magazines, and you know what? Even songs we hear play over and over again. They're programming us to believe these lies and myths. You've been bombarded for years, almost as long as you've been alive, with false, misleading, and damaging myths and misinformation. And they depend on your confusion, and they play on your insecurities to sell magazines, keep you watching, and in short, just to make a buck. All the misinformation out there that the media loves to exploit is enough to confuse absolutely anyone. All the proof you need is remember back to the last time you waited at the checkout line, either at Walmart or your local grocery store. Do Do you ever read over those women's magazines? Now, I don't want to mention any names, but one of the most popular almost always pictures a celebrity with a perfect body, which we know is airbrushed or digitally enhanced, right? Then on the top left of that magazine, usually there's a sex tip, like 11 naughty sex tips or 50 sex moves men crave, or the Are You Good in Bed quiz. Next, you spot the Lose 7 Pounds in 7 Days headline, or How to Get a Great Butt and Thighs. And then you'll get to the men with titles like The Surprising Traits 97% of Men Find Attractive, or How to Touch Him When He's Naked. Now, do you feel and sense the same underlying message that I am? That according to these women's magazines, if you are just hot enough, good enough in bed, and able to outsmart or outgame your man, he will love you so much he won't ever think of leaving you. Really? Don't those qualities seem very surface level to you? I mean, a man who only wants a super hot, good in bed manipulator can find those qualities in a call girl. They don't make any man love you or want to commit to a relationship on a deeper level. And then when a woman does find a man to love and appreciate her on a deeper level, movies, TV, and songs program her to believe that love is all you need to keep the relationship moving forward. All You Need Is Love by the Beatles. Love Will Keep Us Together by Captain and Tennille. Okay, I'm probably dating myself a little bit there. And reality TV shows where couples are supposed to meet, marry, and live happily ever after based on a chemical connection and a few roses. Now, before you start thinking, darn, TW, you don't like women's magazines, the Beatles, or reality TV? No, I love music, I love the Beatles, and I watch my fair share of reality TV. I'm just saying, as you're beginning to see and about to really discover, believing these myths and lies are what is holding you back from finding lasting love that you can count on. The truth is, a man does need to feel love for you, but he also needs something else to happen before he truly wants to make you his wife or move on to any kind of more meaningful level in your relationship. So why don't we talk about that something else which must happen before the man becomes self-motivated to move a relationship forward all on his own? First, understand you may already suspect this, but a man does not process his feelings the same way a woman does. He has feelings, incredibly strong feelings, but for almost all men, he doesn't know exactly what his feelings mean or what they're trying to tell him. He rarely can discuss them coherently. If you want to see a man squirm, ask him, "Why do you love me?" Now, I'm just kidding. Don't really do that. I'm just trying to make a point here. This is really important, though. A man feels his feelings in his gut and in his heart. Love, caring, attraction register in his heart, and at the same time, he gets signals from his gut. So he's got the heart thing going on, but he's got the gut thing going on at the same time. These signals are more often than not obeyed over what he may be feeling in his heart. I want to pause here for a second. This is super important. Remember, he's not processing his feelings or acting on them the same way that you do. He just gets this general feeling and he makes his decisions based on these signals. Please pay super close attention, because if you get this, you'll understand more about men than you ever have before and more than most women will ever know. Remember our magic traffic signal at the start of our presentation? This traffic signal powerfully represents how a man decides to move forward in a relationship. He feels in 3 broad strokes. Good and positive is the green light, and that whenever he feels green, he feels compelled to move forward. Compelled to move forward. You know he's green when he moves your relationship forward all on his own. He'll do things like ask for a second date. He wants to meet your family, or he wants to meet his family. He asks how you feel about kids. In short, he pursues you. Now, the yellow light, the yellow feeling, is a caution feeling, and it tells him to slow down. Something might be wrong. Now, here's some signs he's yellow. Your biggest clue is he reaffirms his love for you, but he says things really similar to, I'm not ready. Now, a man can also go red, and when he's red, that's stop. And he feels, not necessarily know in his head, but he feels that something is definitely wrong. And here's some signs he's red. Your biggest clue is that in some way he draws a line in the sand, and he gets defensive if he feels like it's being crossed. And he may say things like, I am not relationship material. Now, I want you to remember, red, yellow, or green, the color of his signal has absolutely nothing to do with how much he's attracted to you or how much he loves you. Do you have that? Do you got that? It's completely separate. Yes, he does need attraction and the love to move forward, but if he's not moving forward on his own, you can be sure his signal went yellow or red. In fact, I did this little diagram for you. You've got to have the love plus the green light in order to get to the happy marriage or for him to move forward. Now that you know the problem, that your relationship with men have been held back due to lies you've been told, let's dive into the specific tips I have for you today. I'm excited. Are you? These are the same tips that countless thousands of women have used to successfully achieve the loving and fully committed relationship that they desire and deserve. And the most important of these tips is my masculine hero avatar principle. And from now on, I'll probably just say MHAP to keep it short. I call it MHAP. I'll go into the specifics on MHAP in just a second, so by all means, keep watching. But first, you absolutely need to know about the one trap you must avoid if you want to gain a man's total devotion to you. Actually, this is going to surprise you, because this is a trap men set all on their own. I call it the invisible man trap. Invisible because he doesn't set them deliberately, and you can't see them. And if you fall into one of many of his invisible man traps, his light will turn yellow, and he'll start to pull away from you. I want you to be aware that when a man first meets you, especially if he really likes you, he wants to impress you, so much so that he may paint himself in the best possible light. And it's typical for a man to embellish the truth a bit. One prime example is how a man may exaggerate or show off his financial success. Fancy dinners, which he may not be able to afford, lavish gifts, and spending money like it ain't no thing. If you accept these things in the wrong way, soon his green light for you turns yellow, because he begins to process this in his gut, not in his head, but he processes this in his gut as a warning that you may like him only for his financial success. What the hell, right? I know. Yes, he sets this trap all on his own. So what do you do? Just not accept anything? No, here's all you need to do, and you'll immediately turn his heart light green. By the way, I give a lot of credit to my wife for teaching me this. She's a master at making my heart light glow green. If he takes you to a super fancy restaurant, let's say, it's fine to tell him that you're pleased, but make a big deal out of the fact that you'd be happy at any restaurant as long as you are with him. If he's buying you lots of gifts, and especially if you sense he's stretching his budget, just let him know in a fun way that he's already got your attention without all the gifts. After a couple of dates, offering to pay for dinner or a fun excursion like a roller coaster ride will go a long way with him, even if he doesn't accept your offer. These invisible man traps aren't all financial in nature. Just be hyper aware of when he seems to be trying too hard to impress you, and just let him know that just spending time with him is satisfying to you. Just doing this one tip will allow you to rapidly gain his total devotion, because he's able to sense deep down that you're really into the real him. Just picture it. You make this one small change, and without any weirdo manipulation tactics, you actually see him light up and almost melt in front of your eyes as he realizes deep down that you're into the real him. Isn't that an awesome thing to imagine, all from just one small tip? Now, how would you like to actually enjoy feeling like you're the prize without feeling like you're the one putting in all the effort into the relationship? Does that sound good? If you take advantage of this next simple tip, you will. And you'll also make deep connections to the man you're with or the man you want to be with. All you need to do is ask simple questions during conversations which allow him to reveal his true self to you. For example, if this is a first date and he mentions that he's a lawyer, do not ask questions like where it seems as if you're trying to size him up. You don't want to ask him things like, how long have you been a lawyer? Are you a partner? Are you on track to be a partner? Now, while I'm being overly brash just to make my point, these surface level type resume questions that say, I'm sizing you up, are a common mistake women make they make them cringe inside the same way a question about your age or your weight may make you recoil like a vampire touched by a crucifix. Now, taking the opposite approach and just making small talk is also a mistake. Not only is the conversation dull, but you miss the opportunity for him to connect with you on a deep level, which is absolutely vital and crucial if he's to see you as someone special. So, he's casually mentioned he's a lawyer. A great connection building question could be, what are your favorite type of cases? Why? Can you tell me about one? Now watch how his eyes light up and his gestures become animated as his invisible traffic signal turns green, because even though he can't explain it, something about you just feels right. You feel special to him. Now, if you're in a relationship already, this can be even more important. If he's had a challenging day at work and he shares the details of a dilemma he faced with you, you might answer with, wow, that sounds tough. What did you do? And he shares how he had to support an unpopular decision. You may want to follow up with, how did you find the courage to go against all the opposition? Do you see how this allows him to open up and reveal more of his true self? When you ask questions and have conversations which allow him to reveal his true self, he automatically will feel himself becoming intensely attracted to you and want to pursue you. And you know what? He likely won't even be able to explain why. Though you'll know why as soon as I explain the MHAP. This is where it gets even better. And here comes the really big, massive, crucial tip. And I'm going to give you a bit of a warning here. Without understanding this tip, you'll be forever lost trying to ever understand men. This is the tip that will allow you to understand men's weird behavior, why men lie, why men pull away, even when things seem to be going so well, and how to turn it all around so he wants to fully commit to you and take your relationship to the next level without being pushy or issuing all kinds of weird ultimatums. This is my patented masculine hero avatar principle, and it's used by virtually every woman in a happy, fully committed relationship or marriage, whether they know it or not. And here's how it works. Every man has at least two predominant images of himself. He holds an image of how he sees himself. He holds an image of how he believes others see him. In other words, he holds an image of how he believes you see him. Are you with me so far? The image he holds of himself and the image he feels he must project because of his upbringing and social programming is called his masculine hero avatar. Each man's MHA is different from another man's, but each have common core elements. Imagine MHA as a superhero. By the way, knowing your man's favorite superhero is like being handed a looking glass into his MHA. For now, I just want you to picture the proverbial knight in shining armor. The knight, like most superheroes and your man, has a suit of armor or costume. Everything his suit of armor and his knighthood represents is the image he wants to project. It's rare, and only with very special people will he remove his armor and let someone see the real him. And he never removes his armor all at once. He starts by dropping his shield. Then if he feels safe, he may remove his helmet. And if at any point he feels someone doesn't approve of the real him, or someone is more interested in his castle, or more interested in his position, or what favors he can bestow, the armor goes back on. Even though he may have just been trying to impress you with the very thing just moments earlier. In other words, your knight's light just turned yellow. That's MHAP number one. A man wants to be loved for the real him. Okay, this is deep core need of a man. A man wants to be loved for the real him. So let's move on to MHAP number 2. Every man feels deep down like he's on an important journey with something important to accomplish in his life. Remember, he only feels this. And a majority of men can't verbalize what his important destiny is supposed to be. So it's super important. I say important a lot. It's really important. He does sense and feel deeply if something or someone is going to help him on his journey or weigh him down. Guess what happens when he senses someone is going to weigh him down? Did you guess yellow or red light? Right on. You're already picking this up. And it means your relationship stalls out and he can't truly explain why. Do you want to know how to turn him green? This is actually the secret behind the saying, behind every great man is a great woman. A man will want to fully commit and be with a woman he feels will help him on his journey. A man will never leave the woman's side who understands his destiny and journey better than he does. And if you've been paying attention to how men process feelings and thoughts, you may start to realize that this isn't very hard for a woman to do. Now, I'm not sure if you really understand just how powerful just those 2 MHAPs are. What I've just taught you short circuits commitment phobia in virtually all healthy men. You ever wonder why male superheroes never have a wife? I'm thinking of the Lone Ranger, Superman, Spider-Man, Batman, Iron Man. They're all single, right? It's because comic book companies and Hollywood kind of play into this MHA for entertainment purposes. And it's just more social programming wiring men's circuits to believe a strong man does it all on his own and marriage may slow or weigh him down. But now you know reality is deep down he longs for someone to love the real him and help him discover his destiny. Whew! Let me catch a breath. That was a lot to cover, and you may be feeling a bit overwhelmed and confused, and that's okay. Because basically this means that you have 2 choices on where you go from here. Choice 1 is you can take the information in this presentation and try to go it all alone. And who knows, you may see some success if you took some really careful notes. Or there's choice 2. It's the savvy choice. This is the quickest, easiest, and smartest way to get the loving, fully committed relationship you absolutely deserve. Let me do the work for you. And you know what? I already have. Why start from scratch and try and invent the darn wheel when I've laid out your exact step-by-step blueprint for going from hello to I do as fast as humanly possible? These are principles which have been tested for years, secrets and deep insights responsible for countless thousands of women finally finding true and lasting love and having that supportive, connected relationship at last without all the waiting around for years and without having to resort to manipulation or being pushy. Here's what the vast amount of our successful women choose. I'm T.W. Jackson. Please call me T-Dub. And along with world-renowned dating coach Jonathan Green, we are the creators of the Girl Gets Ring system. The Girl Gets Ring system is the first non-pushy method ever created that allows you to stop wasting your precious time and gain virtually any man's total devotion, and not just his commitment, his enthusiastic commitment to you and your future together. Now, while I'm a happily married man who has helped thousands of couples stay together, I obviously haven't been active in the dating scene for 16 years. And while Jonathan is very active and has helped hundreds of couples find each other in today's dating scene, he hasn't been a happily married man like I have been. So by joining forces, you get the best of both worlds because we can expertly guide and speed you through any and all stages of your relationship. This radically simple system will work for you even if you have picked the wrong type of men in the past, trouble keeping his interest. If you have kids or children, that's no problem. If you're with a guy who keeps saying he's not ready, we can help you there. If you have a few more candles on your birthday cake, a super busy schedule, even if you've cussed out the darn needle on your scales a few times, we can help you. Do you have ex-boyfriends who seem to marry their next girlfriend? or a hard-to-land man, also known as the commitment-phobic fella, or if you think you've tried everything. Now, let me tell you what the Girl Gets Ring is not, just so you know exactly what you're about to experience. This is not yet another play hard to get or the pushy ultimatum type of plan. This is not some swallow this magic pill solution that promises something really silly. You know, like he'll be begging for your hand in marriage in 5 minutes or something totally ridiculous like that. You've been lied to long enough. It's time for a solution that works without all the gimmicks. And this is definitely not a manipulative approach that can harm your relationship long term. Rather, the Girl Gets Ring system is a result of over 18 years of study analyzing the most successful long-term relationship case studies ever, as well as looking at the real reasons behind relationship failures and creating a non-pushy solution to the age-old problem of women feeling like they put all the work into a relationship. And now, starting today, their success can be your success too. The success patterns we've studied and successfully duplicated give you the freedom to easily meet, attract, and gain a man's enthusiastic commitment to you and your future together. All while your relationship soars to new levels, your connection to each other grows, and you finally claim the love, relationship, and life you absolutely deserve. Now, before we go any further, it's only fair that I be absolutely 100% honest with you. If you're looking for that magic pill relationship answer, or if you want just another short trick like play hard to get that seems to be a returning fad, or some other plan that you already know will never ever work for you, then just please go ahead and leave this page now. This system is for women who are ready to put down the magazine and tabloid type answers, yet still want the most reliable way to achieve lifetime relationship success. In short, there are no easy answers, yet we've made this system as easy as it can get. So if you're wanting the real answer to a happy, fully committed relationship, which is moving quickly toward marriage, then here's what you can expect. If you want to stop wasting precious time, gain a man's attention, attraction, total devotion, and enthusiastic commitment, put an end to the emotionally exhausting dating merry-go-round, and get the relationship you deserve without sacrificing your integrity or self-esteem, then the Girl Gets Ring system isn't just a system for you, it is the only system for you. So why don't we take a look at what you're going to get inside your copy of Girl Gets Ring. On page 10 and in your audio MP3, you'll discover the foundations of the masculine hero avatar principle. Now, we kind of touched on 2 of those today, 2 really important ones. There's actually 4 MHAPs, and I'm going to cover them all in depth in your audio MP3. This includes the exact timing and strategy for how you use his own wiring to encourage rapid attraction, devotion, and his enthusiastic commitment. You will love how Girl Gets Ring is laid out and walks you through relationship stages from your first hello to what to do on your first date to becoming his girlfriend. To him proposing, all the while, he's initiating the moves because he truly sees you as the most special woman he's ever been with or will ever be with. And if you're already in a relationship which you feel have stalled, you'll finally be able to see exactly where it all went wrong and how you can turn it around now. On page 28, you'll discover a simple technique to see through facades and deep into anyone's character, allowing you to almost become a human lie detector. How much grief will the ability to see through lies and deception save you? Then on page 32, you'll learn about 3 man repellents which cause most men to run for cover. Why your looks don't matter nearly as much as you may think. What Gandhi, who changed the world, can teach you about truly changing your man. The secrets of reflexive attraction no man is wired to resist. You'll find that on page 70. What men today consider to be the new sexy. When should you sleep with him? Finally, you'll discover the definitive answer and how to reverse any damage if you got it wrong. Keeping it hot in the bedroom. Listen, I've been with my wife for 16 years. We ran out of positions and acts years ago, but I've never felt more passion for her. On page 77, I spill my wife's secret, and once you know her secret, keeping a man happy and faithful becomes worry-free. The 3 words I told one woman to whisper in her husband's ear to save her marriage, and yes, it worked. I put all that down for you on page 79. If you want his total devotion and commitment, do not play hard to get. You'll be like, OMG, when you finally understand what's on page 80 through 83. Now, deep down, men want intimacy and they want commitment. Page 92 shows you how to draw it up to the surface. How to talk so he'll really listen. How becoming his MVP, his most valuable partner, turns his heart light green and short-circuits his fears of commitment. That's on pages 104 through 112. More on why men cheat, and you'll love this. How to inoculate him from whores, trollops, and skanks. That's on page 137. Now, as you've probably noticed by now, Girl Gets Ring is by far the easiest system to follow, as it allows him to enthusiastically pursue you, saving you years waiting for him to be ready and allowing you to have the supportive, intimate relationship you deserve. The results come pretty fast, too. Unlike other plans where many women report wasting years plotting, pleading, and waiting, when you follow your Girl Gets Ring system, you can start seeing results in days. And that is pretty amazing considering you are seeing these results and experiencing this transformation without resorting to cheap tricks and tactics like playing hard to get. Now, you may believe that a system that can do so much for you would cost a pretty penny. And in all honesty, it really should. After all, the principles you're getting in this system has helped thousands of women just like you find a lifetime of lasting love and happiness. I don't know what could be more important. I'll get to the price in a few moments. First, I want to share a few other unique benefits this one-of-a-kind system will deliver to you. You'll discover the 3 man traps you absolutely must avoid at all costs in order to see the results that you desire. That's covered in the audio MP3. You'll also discover some really fun ways to make getting to know him and understand the real him an absolute blast. And I've proven that dating, commitment, and getting engaged can and it should be enjoyable, and I want to share those secrets with you too. Plus, I'll be revealing exactly how to keep him happy, which makes him want to keep you happy for the rest of your lives. Now, the price of the Girl Gets Ring system, valued all by itself, is $97. Yet, you're not just receiving the Girl Gets Ring system today. Just for watching the presentation, I'd like to give you, free of charge, these value-add bonuses to help you get to that special moment when he proposes to you even faster. So here's your first free gift. It's called the 7 Biggest Mistakes Women Make with Online Dating. Listen, many women put a lot of thought into what pictures they post and what they say in their profile, and most of the time it attracts the wrong type of men. Here's the 7 mistakes you must avoid, or you could end up on date after date with men who either aren't interested or they're going to end up treating you badly. Then your second free gift is called the Clean Slate Method. I've helped thousands of women recover from mistakes they've made in their relationships, including stuff like emotional affairs, cheating, lying, giving that ultimatum that backfires. The Clean Slate Method is about as close to a mistake eraser as you're ever going to get. Now, if you are in a long-distance relationship, more and more relationships are starting to turn out as LDRs. LDR Secrets is a 1 hour and 22-minute MP3 interview with 2 of the United States' leading experts on making LDRs work. If you're constantly worried, thinking about your SO and your LDR, you've got to listen to this. What they had to say is so important. I paid them $800 to have this interview done. Now, you can see why the Girl Gets Ring system is valued at $97. Even without the bonuses, this is a real steal. And if you bought the bonuses by themselves, your total investment today would be over $200. However, just for watching this, hanging out with me today, I have a much better deal coming your way. So just keep watching because it won't last forever. Of course, you could choose to continue on the path you're on right now and pay 10, 20, maybe even 100 times this much money in the near future in the form of dating site membership fees, going to the clubs, throwing money down the tubes on taxis. I mean, goodness, how much does it cost to be single these days? It's darn expensive. And don't even get me started about how expensive it is when our relationships don't work out, which could eventually happen if you just keep doing what you're doing now. And that's not what I want for you. So let's make this a really easy decision, okay? I feel you deserve to know why I'm about to offer you such a massive discount today. So let me share my dream with you. It's a cause that I'm inviting you to join along. with thousands of other women just like you who are ready to reinvent their relationship with men, reinvigorate the passion and love in their lives, and replace worrying and wasting time with bright and secure futures. And above all, share that new life with a loving, supportive, and fully committed man. And a few months ago, I set a very inspiring goal. I dedicated myself to helping at least 1 million women marry the man of their dreams and keep them for life. That's 1 million marriages. Can you imagine it? How much joy would that create? How many happier kids would that make? How many other women would be inspired by this cause? The bottom line, I decided that I absolutely need to let as many women as possible join in the cause. And it's a cause I call the Million Marriage Mission. The good news? That means a much lower price for you because I want you to join the cause and I don't want finances to stop anyone. So let's add your marriage to the cause starting right now. That means that today you will not be paying the retail value of the Girl Gets Ring system and the bonuses. Not even close. So your investment today will not be $217, not even half of that. It won't even be $67. Your total investment today, which includes the total Girl Gets Ring system and all the bonuses you see above right now, is one payment of just $47. Listen, don't decide right now. Take advantage of my unconditional triple guarantee. Just try the Girl Gets Ring system for yourself for a full 60 days. If you don't have at least one meaningful date with a man you're deeply attracted to in those short 60 days, or if you're in a stalled relationship and you don't see concrete proof of him moving forward to fully committing all on his own in 30 days, or even if you just don't like the way the book's designed, the font face I use, you name it, I'll gladly refund every penny. No questions and no hassles. Look below this video right now. Click on that orange button that says add to cart to claim your discounted price right now. You'll join our Million Marriage Mission. Plus, if you act now before this presentation ends, I'm going to toss in this one-of-a-kind super bonus training I paid over $1,300 just to share with you. It's called From Conflict to Compassionate Communication. And I'm really excited about it because the differences between how men and women communicate are responsible for many arguments, hurt feelings, and a lot of fights. And I love what Lori Rubenstein teaches so much about communication that I invested $1,350 to license the right to share her teaching with you. Today, I want to give you this yours free. That brings your total value to over $240. Yet today, if you act now, it's all yours. It's just one payment of only $47. Remember, it's not just a great bargain you're getting today. You'll be joining in on the biggest marriage movement in our history. You'll be part of an ever-growing movement to help build strong families. Click on the orange button that says add to cart to claim your discounted price right now. You'll be granted immediate access to everything, the Girl Gets Ring system, all the bonuses, plus your free super bonus training for less conflicts and more communication. Potentially priceless value just for taking immediate action today.